Coming up on this episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society. Finally, another way to pay to play Ice Climber. It's dangerous to go alone, so the Nintendo Cartridge Society goes with you. Welcome to Nintendo Cartridge Society. My name is Patrick Ellers. I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, Mark Mitchell. We've got a good show for you today. We're going to be talking about the news from the week, including updates on Nintendo's online service. And then on Thursday, come back, we're going to be talking about Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze and South Park The Fractured Butthole. But Mark, in the meantime, how are you?
I'm feeling fabulous.
Feeling fabulous.
Feeling good.
Let's drill down into that. What feels so fabulous?
Oh man, I don't even know. If
we don't have to explore it too much.
Right? Yeah. I mean, yeah. Things are going good. My back doesn't hurt.
Hey, and look, back pain, maybe among the worst pains. I've had pains in other parts of my body.
You know, I don't know how much our listeners enjoy us complaining about how old we are.
Right, but we're old.
How old do you think you were when you first just like had the first time where you got out of bed in the morning, you're like, oh, I just am in pain for some reason?
So the one that jumps out to me is actually video game related. It was when I was living in Chicago, so I was probably 25, maybe 26. We had just gotten the Rock Band, and so we were playing, and I fancied myself a drummer in Rock Band. And so we were playing like all day, right? People playing guitar, playing bass, singing. And I'm like wailing away on this drum set, no formal training on a drum set, and like hunched over on some like weird stool or like probably a case of like Coors Light, right? That I'm sitting on top of. And then the next day, my body was just like destroyed. So probably 25 or 26.
Yeah. So any day you wake up where you're not in just like pain for mysterious reasons, it's a good day to be alive. You feel fabulous.
I would agree with that. Here's something you can do to make yourself feel fabulous. Make us feel fabulous by reviewing our show on Apple Podcasts. That works, right?
Yeah.
That makes me feel fabulous. We need your help. We're trying to get up to 50 reviews right now. We are so close. We're at 44 or 45. Something like that. We're almost to 50 mark. So you can help us out by going to Apple Podcasts and leaving a 5-star review or any star. Leave us a 5-star review, please. Please. If you don't think we deserve it, don't give it to us. But please, please, 5 stars. Special thank you to Jason, son of dad, and MK Online for leaving 5-star reviews. MK Online left this review on not the US store.
Yeah, on the UK store.
Yeah.
But we love it.
We love it anyway. It helps us no matter what.
We especially love it because after they left the review, they tweeted at us.
Which you can do by tweeting at NinCart Society.
To let us know that they left it and to request some guest weather for the week.
So, look, this is the only way we're doing guest weather. You have to tell us what guest to weather. Our guest weather today is Coventry in the UK. It looks like it's 64 degrees and sunny.
I wish we were
Spring?
having their weather.
I am enjoying our weather right now. It was a little on the warm side. It lets me wear shorts, which I like to do.
I'm not a shorts wearer.
I know you're not, and I wish you would reconsider. So anyway, thank you for that, and keep them coming. We love some reviews. And all of that, I mentioned that we are at NinCart Society on Twitter. If you want to follow me, I'm at Patrick_Ellers, and Mark is at MKE Mitchell. And if you want to get us on Facebook, we are just Nintendo Cartridge Society. Two more things to update on. One, Sonic Forces. Mark, this borrowing program may be dead. It's been months.
Are we calling?
I don't know. Do you think we should call it?
So here's the thing. I was going to buy a new copy for us to send out.
Right.
But even used, I am not able to find it for anything lower than like $39, which is $1 less than the
that's a crime.
Than the retail price. I thought I'd be able to find it for like $10, $20 max.
Well,
but like paying $40. It's a high price. We'll see. I don't want it to die.
It's
but
a
like,
high
what are we gonna
price
do?
to pay a second time to pull off this stupid stunt.
$80 into Sonic Forces.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot. No one wants to
Maybe
spend
it
that much
was
on Sonic
a
Forces.
Sega employee, a Sega executive.
Oh, who snatched it up?
Yes, exactly.
Intercepted it in the mail and said, "No, we're gonna make everyone buy these.
We're gonna make somebody buy at least one more copy of Sonic Forces." I don't know. We need to figure something out. Maybe if it's not Sonic Forces, something else. But
Sure, maybe there'll be some other sort of game that we can pass around and that I'll never get back. But if you want to be put on that list or a different, if you want to be put on a list to borrow some game from me, you can email us Nintendo Cartridge Society at gmail.com. A more relevant thing and a more worthwhile, useful thing that you could do with that email address is you could help us figure out which is the best of all the Pokemon starters.
That's right. We're going to be doing an episode on it, releasing June 7th. So we're giving you plenty of runway.
Yep, you got tons of time
to, I don't know, play through all the Pokemon games ever.
I would 3 times so that you can try really, starting each one,
yeah.
right? And really just I want to know about, the emotional journey that you have with your Piplup. I want to know, right? Give me all the information. That's all. If you have a specific case to make for one being the best or one that we absolutely should not, if you're like, hey, look, they're all good, but I don't want to see a Chimchar getting number 1.
Right. Rowlet, he's too new.
I would understand all of these arguments.
Will he stand the test of time?
I mean, he's a cute little green owl, so yes, he will. He wears a bow tie. He may be my number 1. I'm not going to give it away. All right, Mark. Oh, so you can email that to Nintendo Cartridge Society at gmail.com. All right, Mark, let's get into what we've been playing this week. So I've been playing South Park, The Fractured Butthole.
And I've been playing Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze.
But we will be digging into both of those in more detail on our Thursday episode / Thursday episodes. I think we're going to split them.
Sure. Yeah.
Sure. We may split them. Here's the thing. I feel like I'm going to have to use some language that we wouldn't normally use on this show in the South Park episode.
Oh, then yeah, we should.
So we should definitely split them up. But just generally, broad strokes here. Are you enjoying your experience with Tropical Freeze?
Yes.
Very good. And I am, broadly speaking, enjoying my experience with South Park. Though I do want to throw out a quick little addendum to that. There are some, I haven't experienced any of it yet, but I've seen a lot of reports of people's saves being eaten.
I've also seen this in the
South
Switch
Park
version.
Yeah, on the Switch version of South Park. So it seems like there are a couple different things that trigger it, and Ubisoft has said that they will be patching it at some point. So while I am enjoying the game, and it is a recommend if it's a recommend for a lot of reasons. But maybe hold off on it until it's fixed. I am dreading the moment as I'm playing through this and enjoying it that it's just going to crash on me and I'll lose all my progress, and that'll be the end of my experience. I'm almost positive.
I've also been playing Stardew Valley because that's just a thing I do now.
Right, it's a way of life now.
Yeah, it's a way of life, and it's an incredible life. As we said at the top of the show, I'm feeling fabulous. I'm sure Stardew Valley is contributing to that. It did get me thinking, there's a new Harvest Moon coming out.
3DS though, right?
No, there's one coming out to Switch. And I don't see any point in buying it.
Oh, I see where that sentence was driving to a different place than I was expecting it to.
Yeah, I mean, why? Like, Stardew Valley is $20, and the modern Harvest Moon games are not what I want out of Harvest Moon anymore.
Right.
And I don't know, who's developing those? Natsume or whatever? Yeah, they Stardew Valley must really grind their gears.
Oh man. I mean, obviously Mark has picked a side here. Should I get back into Stardew Valley?
Wait for the multiplayer update, and we will combine our powers. Tell me, even though it's not Nintendo related, I'm interested to know. I don't think we've discussed it off the air at all. Did you finish God of War on the PS4? And
so yes, I rolled credits on God of War. There is a lot of game left when credits start rolling. And if we weren't talking about South Park this week, I probably would have gone back in and kept playing it. Really great game. Really liked it. And just a totally wonderful experience. Loved the way it ended. And at some point, I got it on disc, so I should make you borrow it and you can play it as well.
Maybe we could do a 433 or something on it at some point,
or just like a special episode. I mean, like, right? We can do a breakout like special episode.
We can do whatever we want.
We'll start a Patreon or something, and that'll be you got to pledge $30 a month. That's too high. There's no way our episode on God of War is going to be that good, Mark.
Maybe my mom will subscribe.
Look, here's the thing. When you're going for like a $30 a month Patreon tier, you only need to get 10 people to subscribe, and you're crushing it, right? All right, Mark, let's get into the new releases and what we might be playing next week.
All right, releasing today, May 8th, Death Road to Canada is coming out on the Switch eShop. This was delayed a little bit because of that not at all funny and horrific bus accident that happened with a Canadian junior hockey team, I believe, a couple of weeks ago.
I don't think I know about this, but because so many horrifying things happen in the world, this one just got swept under the rug for me.
And then Raging Justice is also out today.
Is that a Double Dragon style brawler?
Do you know what I couldn't tell you, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Great.
Thursday, May 10th, on the new 3DS eShop is a game called Up Up Bot. This is notable because, first of all, as far as we know, 3DS eShop exclusive titles are selling very poorly right now.
Yes.
And on top of that, this is a new 3DS eShop exclusive. So if you have an OG 3DS. Anyways, good luck, Up Up Bot. We're praying for you.
Big Up Up Bots.
Oh my gosh. Wait. I'm sorry. I need to go back and give big ups, the biggest of ups, to Coventry UK.
Yeah.
Because I neglected to do that.
Yes. And I believe that ups were mentioned in the tweet at us informing us about this review.
Yeah, absolutely. It was specifically called out. So I was derelict in my duties. I'm so sorry, MK Online.
We messed up, Mark.
We messed up.
Should we start this episode over?
No.
Okay.
Okay. May 10th, Switch eShop Garage, The Fall, Suicide Guy, Arcade Archives, Terra Cresta, and then the Neo Geo Arcade Archives is Super Sidekicks 2.
Garage, that's that overhead sort of horror game that
I
was
believe
teased
so,
in
yeah.
a Nini Direct. I'll be interested just to look in on that and see how people are reacting to it, and then go back to God of War and South Park.
And then on Friday, May 11th, One Piece Pirates Warriors 3 Deluxe Edition is coming to Switch from Bandai Namco Bandai.
I think you did it right the first time.
Okay.
Bandai Namco.
They also released a just all my geek cred gone, Naruto. Is that what that series is called?
Yes.
A collection on Switch just a few weeks ago, and it seems to be selling incredibly well on the eShop anyways. It's the second or third best selling on the North American store right now anyways.
Naruto is one of those things that I have never seen any of. I'm only familiar with it through its advertising. And so when a collection of Naruto games comes out, I'm like, oh, all right, good for Naruto fans, I guess. And then also today, Inksplosion, or not today, but Friday, Inksplosion comes out on the Switch eShop, which looks like kind of a cool, arcadey multiplayer, line drawing, shooting. I don't know. It looks neat. It looks like almost like an 8-bit demake of Splatoon. It's been on other platforms before, but it's coming to the Switch.
Yeah, we're just really getting, I don't know. I remember when the Switch first came out, and every time there was an indie game, it was a really big deal. And now we
did a whole episode about Snake Pass. A whole episode. Mark, we talked for an hour about Snake Pass.
Our episodes were too long back then. But now, we are just lousy with indie games, and it's great, but it's interesting how nonchalant we are about everything now. We're just oh yeah, 6 probably really good games are showing up on the eShop, and it's too much of a good thing sometimes.
An embarrassment of riches. All right, Mark, let's close out the segment. That means it's time for 433, a regular segment on this show. In 1952, American composer John Cage wrote a piece called 433, wherein a performer or a group of performers didn't play their instruments for 4 minutes and 33 seconds. For the purposes of this show, our instruments are talking about Nintendo. So, for the duration of one performance of 433, Mark and I will talk about something not at all Nintendo related, thus fulfilling the contract of the piece. Mark, our topic today is massages. Getting a massage. Presumably we're talking about getting a massage, not giving massages.
Sure, yeah.
Did you do theater in high school?
I didn't.
Because there's a lot of like a massage train, massage.
Oh yes,
circle.
like a circle.
Yeah.
Yes, I didn't do theater, but when I was younger, I like took dance classes, and there was a lot of that going on as well.
Yeah. It's never a satisfying experience, right?
No, but that's because it's untrained hands.
It's untrained hands, and like everyone's kind of like sweaty and nervous. I don't know. There's something about, I don't know if a massage should be like a social thing, right?
Right. Well, have you and Sarah ever had like a couples massage?
No.
Have you ever had a massage at all?
So I've had a couple.
Uh-huh.
I've had like one in a massage parlor, like place that's all that happens at this business. And then my friend Susan was a massage therapist for some time, and I think she massaged me like twice. And one of those times I had one of the aforementioned sore back, and she gave me a massage, and it was like a light sore back before, but then after, it's like she beat the crap out of me. Because there is, if you have like muscle strain or something, a massage can really do a number on you. Because like I don't know what it is. I don't know why, but I haven't had one since.
When I was in high school, I got into a car accident, and for some reason, the details I am murky on, like the other person's car insurance, was willing to pay for me to get like massages.
It sounds like you were being bribed or something.
It must have been some sort of like pseudo medical thing. And so that was like the first time that I got like a professional or a number of like professional massages. And I have throughout my life gotten them. I feel like massages are one of those things where you're like, oh yeah, that's right, why rich people look and feel great all the time.
Oh, sure.
I feel like if we were getting massages on the regular, like we would feel awesome.
Okay, well, let me ask you this though. I get stressed out going to a haircut.
Okay.
And I guess there's more of like a stated or like an expected like social interaction in a haircut. But like I hate the pressure of like maybe this person is going to try to talk to me for 45 minutes. And there's less of that with a massage, but there's still like a very real component of like you are just in a space with this other person.
Yeah.
And like if you're ignoring the person and not talking to them, does that not feel weird to you?
I feel like most of the time when you go to like a spa or something, they don't talk to you because they like the reason you are there is for like relaxation.
Yeah.
I've had one person who is like this makes it sound like I've had like a ton of
massages. It
massages.
does sound like you've had a bunch.
But like probably like 5.
Sure.
6 at the most in my entire life. And
as
we mentioned, I'm very old. So 6 is not, like
right.
a ton. But this person wanted to talk a lot, and that was not a very exciting experience.
No, I mean, nothing will make me feel like Larry David more than when someone cutting my hair is trying to talk to me. I'm just like, I hate this. But so, yeah, I don't know. Like in recent memory, I haven't had. When's the last time you got a massage?
Maybe like a year ago.
Okay. It's been more than that for me. And I don't think that I miss it, but you think maybe I do. Or like that I crave it.
Well, no, I mean, I think it's totally.
You think you know my body better than I do.
I mean, I think if you don't want a massage, that's totally fine.
Thank you for validating my experience.
But I think that massages are beneficial in most instances, and that if you were getting them regularly, one, I think you would get just like used to the process.
Sure.
And 2, I think we would all just feel amazing all the time.
Do you think there's that some of the benefits of the massage are just the ritual around the massage itself? You are like taking an hour out of the day to do something that's just for you. You're in a quiet, mostly quiet room with just some like, atmospheric music. It smells nice. everything's clean and like warm and taken care of for you, and you don't have to think about anything or do anything.
I think
during
that's
that
a huge part of it, but I actually think that it's probably like, well, I guess we'll never know.
I guess we will never know.
This segment, of course, was brought to you by Massage Envy.
We were accompanied today by violinist Robert Rescott. So thank you, Robert. All right, Mark, let's move into the news.
Okay, big news. Last week or 2 weeks ago, we talked about Nintendo mentioned that they were going to release more details about the Nintendo Switch Online program in early May. Today is that day.
Yay! Or yesterday, as you're listening to this.
Yes, exactly. In an update to their website, it was revealed that the service will launch in September 2018, which, again...
We knew.
Did we know that it was September?
I think so.
Okay.
Because that's why
you're right.
we suspected that that's
why
when
we're all assuming that
Smash will come out.
Right.
I was going to say Switch. Were you also hung up on that? Were you going to say Switch?
Uh-huh.
Why did that happen?
Why Smash is going to come out in September. But
Yes.
you're right. We did know that. So I feel like the big news from this is that part of this is going to be cloud saves.
Yay! So your save data will no longer be confined to just the actual hardware. Currently, there's no way to transfer a single save from one Nintendo Switch to another Nintendo Switch, and there's no way to save them on an SD card.
Yeah, if you wanted to transfer your saves I think you would have to send it to Nintendo.
I think that's right. Which is insanity.
Which is insane.
That's on par with having to send your memory card to Nintendo to get the Metroid Other M bug fixed. It's the same thing.
Just, yeah, completely bonkers. But if you pay for the service, a thing of the past. For me personally, I think this is worth it alone.
Yeah. Especially considering the pricing on this thing, which is like the most ultra reasonable monthly service fee for any video game related anything.
The Japanese website says that some titles are accepted from cloud saves. So I wonder if it's one of those things where like the video capture software has to be updated for it.
Oh, interesting.
Or if it's like they're not going to let Pokemon use it. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what that means.
We will see. I wonder if it's like a size of save that like if you're not going to... No, I don't know. I just don't know.
Yeah. They also announced that a library of 20 NES titles enhanced for online play would be launching with the program in September, with more promise to be added regularly. They announced... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, so I guess my question there is, do we know what that means? That like they're just there and you can play them?
That's what it seems to be like.
Like you just go to a virtual NES arcade and play 20 games?
Seemingly, like the actual details of how it works have not been announced. So like if it's like a icon on your Switch that you enter, and then it, like you're saying, it is like a virtual arcade, or what the specifics of how it works have not been announced.
You know what would be so dope would be if you could jump into one of these NES games without quitting the application you're currently running.
Oh, that would be cool.
'Cause like I love when I'm just playing one Switch game and it takes me half a second to get back into it. But when I'm going back and forth between two games, I'm like, oh, it takes us, it's me complaining about wasting 30 seconds or something. But like it really is nice to just like hop right back in. And if I wanted to play a little bit of, I'm just going to say Ice Climber, if I didn't have to close out the game I'm currently playing and then have to open it up later, that would be awesome.
Well, funny you should mention Ice Climber.
Is it?
Because of the 20 titles that will be available at launch, they've announced 10 of them. They are Ice Climber, Legend of Zelda, Balloon Fight, Soccer, Tennis, Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers, Dr. Mario, Super Mario Brothers 3, and Donkey Kong. So they're saying that they're going to be all NES titles for now.
Uh-huh.
They've all been enhanced for online play, even like the single player titles, which seems to me like the idea is that you and I could be sharing a game of Zelda, and like I'm like, okay, your turn to control Link.
So if that's what that is, that's pretty cool, actually.
Because I mean, interesting.
That's how you and I would have played The Legend of Zelda together on my couch.
Yeah, but like less fun to do online.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah.
So couple things about this. Um, cool that Super Mario Brothers 3 and Legend of Zelda are going to be on there, but Ice Climber, like tennis.
Okay. It's a little bit disappointing that of the 10 that have been announced, 8 of them appear on the NES Classic. So, like, if you got an NES Classic, the only of these games that are newish to you are soccer and tennis, which are games that you are no doubt familiar with from the world. And yeah, Ice Climber, Balloon Fight, the original Mario Brothers, those are all bummers. But the original Super Mario Brothers is great. Dr. Mario is phenomenal. I know I'm going to play too much of that, especially on the Switch. Like if I just have Dr. Mario on the go, I mean, I already have a problem with Puyo Puyo Tetris when I'm like, I should play a new Puyo Puyo Tetris.
And it is only 10 of the 20, and they say they're going to constantly be adding new titles, but
constantly. It'll never stop happening.
I don't know.
How are you feeling about that game lineup?
Indifferent. I think
Indifferent, okay.
Super Mario Brothers 3 is the only one that I am excited about having access to.
Is there any relief in like not having to buy Super Mario Brothers 3 again?
Yeah. I mean, yes. In that way, it is nice. I think this bodes ill for Virtual Console, obviously.
Sure. That they'll just, I mean, there would be no more reason for them to try to sell those games to you if you can play them whenever you want. Do we know if we're streaming these things, or I guess we don't know anything?
Yeah, we don't know the details of it. Also, I would love to see this eventually expand to SNES titles and other games.
Yeah, of course.
Third-party games, but I guess we'll see. They promise special deals and offers for members, and that's it. Seems like everything else is basically the same as it has been since the Switch launched. Voice chat still appears to be through the app exclusively, but the app's functionality at all will only be for subscribers once the system launches. I'm guessing like Smash Brothers is going to have like a Splatnet type thing for it.
Sure. So currently, can you chat with someone like when you're playing ARMS with them via the phone app, or is it just Splatoon right now? We don't know. We don't know this information.
Great question. I don't really know. Like, does it work just like Skype, where I can call you up and just have a regular phone call with you?
I mean, or just like a phone? Because it seems like that functionality is already on my phone.
Right. Yeah. So I guess like the big differentiator between this and something like PlayStation Plus or Xbox Live Gold is price points.
Yeah.
Plans are it's $3.99 per month, $7.99 for 3 months, or $19.99 for 1 year per Nintendo account.
Yes.
And then, or you can buy a family membership for $34.99 a year that supports 8 Nintendo accounts in total. So I know there are some people who have a bunch of Nintendo accounts and per system.
Yeah.
And it seems like the easiest way to give all of them support is just to buy like a family account. And it's true that if you buy PlayStation Plus, that every user that's on like that PlayStation has access, can play online.
Right.
But it's also $60 a year.
Yeah, I mean, but some of the free games it offers or free, whatever, the games that are included with it are a lot higher profile.
Yes, absolutely. So I guess, also the other thing is that games that are free to play online right now from Nintendo as a publisher, like ARMS, Splatoon 2, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, like you will now have to pay in order to play with those online.
Yeah.
Once it launches in September.
So currently, Sarah and I have separate Nintendo accounts on the one Switch. But for the most part, we only use the separate profiles for like single player games or like local co-op games. Like Sarah will go into her profile to play Mario Odyssey. Someday when she finally folds and starts playing Breath of the Wild, she'll do it under her own profile. But like if we're just going in to play Mario Kart, we just go into mine because like that's where we've got all the stuff unlocked, and we don't care about like building a different progression system. I guess it would be different in something like Splatoon. So yeah, I guess like for me, I don't necessarily see why I would get like a family pass over the just $20 for a year of a single use.
Right. So they're also saying that it doesn't seem like they have to all be on the same Switch. So like theoretically, you, me, our friend Greg Smith, like we could all just be under the family plan and
friend of the show,
cost.
Greg
Yes,
Smith.
yes, absolutely. So I don't know, for $20 a year, this seems fine.
Yeah.
Like it seems very reasonable. Really, the most exciting thing for me personally is the cloud saves.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, it's a huge step into, the present, which is it's a bummer that Nintendo needs to be making those still, but they do. So
I would honestly rather Virtual Console still exist, and I could just pay for the like NES games and stuff that I want individually.
But you're not going to go out of your way to buy Ice Climber, and now you'll have access to it, Mark, and then you can play it.
This was also illuminating to me because even though I have played Ice Climber on other platforms, I always have just called it Ice Climbers plural.
That's because it makes sense. One of the big hooks of this game is that there are two characters on screen at all time.
But no, it is just Ice Climber because
right.
the game strives to be irritating in as many ways as possible.
If they just fixed the jump physics on those characters, I think there's a real and a serviceable game in there. I think if it got the Kid Icarus 3D treatment like Kid Icarus did, that it would be a playable game and maybe even fun.
Last weekend, Splatoon 2 Splatfest between the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Raph, not Ralph, and Leo had some interesting results. Leo was the more popular turtle, with 57.7% of players picking him up, but Raph won the other two categories, so he will be advancing to the finals.
It's surprising to me that more people wanted to be on Team Leo
by like a significant amount. Is this it feels like this may be one of the most lopsided.
Well, do you recall the ancient war between mustard and
ketchup? No, mayonnaise. That's
mayonnaise,
right.
Yes. Yeah. Because what was it? Or was it ketchup and mayonnaise?
Yeah,
it was
ketchup and mayonnaise.
Because I feel like that was like 70% ketchup and 30% mayo.
That you're right. I also think this just continues to prove the idea that whichever one is more popular usually ends up losing.
That does seem to be the case, yeah.
This weekend, starting Friday, there's another Splatfest. It's Donatello versus Mikey. They're using the names from the new Nickelodeon show, so they're all like Donnie versus Mikey and Raph versus Leo. And then the winner of that will go on to face Raph in the finals on starting May 18th.
I did not get in to play this last Splatfest, but I fully intend to rep Michelangelo this weekend. So I will see you out there, anyone who's interested in doing this. And we are going to let's get on Team Michelangelo. I don't care about Donatello anymore. I did at some point in my life, but I don't anymore.
Grezzo, the developer responsible for remaking The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, have been revealed to be the team remaking Luigi's Mansion for the 3DS.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Because Grezzo is, those games are good versions of great games, right? Or great versions of great games.
Yeah.
Arguably like the definitive way to experience both of them at this point in time.
So your theory has been for a while now that Grezzo was using the knowledge that they gained remaking these games for the 3DS to make a new 3D Zelda game in the Ocarina of Time 3D engine.
Yes, this was a theory / hope of mine, and I feel as though that has been totally dashed now.
It made sense.
It did make sense, right? That they would just be like, oh, and here's another one. It's got different dungeons and like a new story. Everyone would play that and love it. And there's got to be at least one more game that comes to 3DS that we're all like, what? Why isn't that coming to Switch? One more big one.
It's really gonna like drive me crazy too.
Yeah.
I just know it.
And if it's a 3D Zelda, we will all go nuts. So that's what it needed to be, but Nintendo dropped the ball, and they don't even know how to disappoint us anymore.
So I think we all assumed the Next Level Games was working on this because they made the
Did they make
Dark of the Moon
Yeah.
for 3DS. They've also, they've worked fairly closely with Nintendo in the past. They made the Punch-Out game for Wii. I wonder what they're working on.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I can't even venture a guess, but they're out there looming.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Mark, you know what I'm going to say, obviously, is that they are working on a sequel to Teleroboxer from the Virtual Boy.
Obviously.
Coming to Switch.
You can now use your Nintendo Switch Pro Controller on Steam.
Yay!
So you've got to opt into the Steam client beta first, and then there's also tons of like customization and calibration you have to do because it's PC gaming. But you can get your Pro Controller set up to use with Steam now.
So that's good if you've been kind of away from games for a little while and don't have a way to play with a controller on Switch. Most other, like DualShock 4, the PlayStation 4 controller, is a pretty good controller for Steam, but it's just nice that Nintendo players have that same option. Still no any kind of support for like Joy-Cons or anything like that. But like all of it, it can read the gyroscopes and everything. So even the motion sensor stuff is still part of it.
Last week we talked about Nintendo teaming up with Cygames to develop a new RPG on mobile platforms, and this kind of raised some questions about Nintendo's mobile strategy going forward. One thing we do know is soon-to-retire president Tatsumi Kimishima has asserted that the company is still targeting 2 to 3 mobile games per year.
And they really only got like the one out last year, right?
No, they got
Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing, and earlier was Fire Emblem.
Oh yeah, I guess Fire Emblem was like within that same year.
And they got Super Mario Run didn't come to Android until.
Oh, sure.
But it does seem like their mobile pipeline has been a little wonky because Animal Crossing was supposed to come out much sooner than it actually was released.
Yeah.
So there definitely have been some kinks in the product line.
The thing that's so weird about like Nintendo developing mobile stuff is that like you combine Nintendo's secrecy with mobile sort of like erratic release structure, and it's just like I just don't know what to think, or I have no concept of what is actually going on and when games are going to come out or what they're going to be.
Yeah, and I mean, they announced that Mario Kart, what was it called? Mario Kart Tour
World
or whatever.
Tour, maybe?
Game with just a logo, and I'm assuming that is something that DNA is still working on, because Nintendo's also saying that their partnership with DNA isn't finished. They're just doing this stuff with Cygames in addition to.
Yeah.
And because I already forgot the name of the RPG that Cygames is working on, it seems like that is their first project.
Yeah, it's like
and then
Legends
like,
of Dragonia or something like
that.
that.
Yeah. So it seems like that Mario Kart
If you know the
game,
real name of that game, you can email us at nintendocartridgesociety@gmail.com.
So yeah, I don't know. I also don't really know what to think about their mobile strategy. I think the first couple had so much like hype behind it. It was like really exciting, and I wonder if just like the more they get into it, it will just be at least what it's like for me with mobile game releases, where you're just like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
sure. It just happens rather than being like an event.
Yeah, and we will still check in on them and be excited about them for a little bit, and then forget about them entirely, except for Super Mario Run, which I will play forever, though I haven't picked up in months. All right, Silicon Era posted a translation of an interview conducted by Yomiuri with 3 pivotal designers at the Pokemon Company. They are Ken Sugimori, Atsuko Nishihida, and Koji Nishino is what I'm going to say. It's a super cute interview. If you have an opportunity, I would definitely recommend looking it up. It's on Silicon Era. Some highlights from the interview include a discussion about Pikachu's design, and that the character is not actually based on a mouse, but it is based on a squirrel. And like one of the notes about why it's based on a squirrel, or like how that plays into like its actual design, is when a squirrel stores nuts, it stores them in its cheeks. And when the Pikachu stores electricity, it stores electricity in its cheeks.
Adorable.
Just really cute stuff. And they were also talking about the designers were so enamored with the Pikachu that they wanted to make it a hard to find Pokemon in the game, just like hoarding it for themselves. And as is, it's not a super common Pokemon in the original Red and Blue, but because everyone loved it so much, there were guides immediately to like, here's how you get Pikachu. And so they were a little bit, it created like the reverse effect that like it was rare and then everyone got it. Another cool piece of information is that there was originally a third evolution for Pikachu called Gorochu. And Goro is a Japanese onomatopoeia for like a thundery sound. So it continues that line of because Rai, which is the first part of Raichu, also has to do with like thunder and lightning, and Pika is electricity related. So it just there was another version of Pikachu. It had big fangs and a pair of horns. Mark,
man, is Pikachu the perfect Pokemon?
He might be.
He's basically Japan's mascot at this point.
Right. If you think he's the best starter, you should email that and the solid defense of it to Nintendo Cartridge Society at gmail.com sometime before June, so we can talk about it on our episode about the best starting Pokemon.
Hey, do you want a quick way to earn 100 platinum points on your My Nintendo account? This sounds like an ad, but it's not.
It's not. It's a real thing that we're talking about and covering. Now, 100 platinum points, that's $1, right?
No, you're thinking of gold points.
Oh.
Platinum points.
So this is nothing.
They're just giving it away.
Wait. Platinum is less valuable than gold? Nintendo.
I'm pretty sure. Okay, so the official Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze website asks users to find the letters KONG hidden some in different places around the site. Some letters are in plain view, while others are hidden in crates, barrels, blocks of ice. You got to find them.
Yeah.
You get 100 platinum points.
Which I'm just learning now isn't even worth $1. It's a cute little way for them to like force you around the website.
Yeah, totally.
I did it. That's all.
Choice Provisions, the developer of Runner 3, announced on Twitter that Charles Martinet will be coming to their game as a playable character. Now, Martinet more often is known as a voice actor.
Yeah.
Like
instead of as a character in Runner 3.
Yeah, or just like as a person, really.
Yeah, sure.
He's like the voice of Mario. But as far as either of us know, this is the first time he's appearing as himself in a game.
Weird turn of events. He was also tweeting about it, just to be like, hey, I'm in this game.
Yeah, that's fun. He seems like a chill dude.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this one gets filed under not news. I don't know. We'll you and I can hash that out afterwards. Nintendo is looking to hire a new level designer for The Legend of Zelda. The candidate needs experience in game planning on consoles and the ability to speak Japanese or communicate in Japanese specifically. Patrick, I'm going to go ahead and say this is like, I'm going to give this a pass.
You're going to pass it.
Oh man, I don't know.
You're saying that it can headline like main stage shows any weekend it wants. This is what you're doing by passing this news item.
Look, my head says this is not news because obviously Nintendo's developing another, at least one Legend of Zelda game.
And that there will be dungeons in it.
Right.
Which I suppose is a departure from the most recent Zelda game.
Not really.
Kinda.
They're probably not gonna call them shrines in the
right,
They said level designer. That's all they said.
Oh
they
yeah, that's a great
dungeon
point.
Designer.
That's a great point.
But it so in
console
that,
though, that's interesting.
Yes.
It means they're not hiring for 3DS.
Yes. Okay, great. Technicality. For that reason, we're calling it not news. Look, or we're calling it real news because my head, I know that this isn't news, but my heart is saying, but it's talking about a new Zelda game, which is coming. Yeah. But doesn't that very idea make you happy?
It does.
You Twitter paid it even.
Mm-hmm. And also, like, there are so many ways that are so many older 3D Zelda games that I expect to see coming to the Switch at some point. Let's get those HD remakes of Twilight Princess and Wind Waker on there. Some way to play Skyward Sword. All of this would be great. But I like the reminder that new stuff is on the way.
It's comforting. It's soothing. Absolutely. Capcom is working with IM 8-bit to print new physical versions of Mega Man 2 and Mega Man X, so NES and SNES cartridges respectively.
Mm-hmm.
As part of Capcom's Mega Man 30th anniversary celebration, they're printing 8,500 copies of each game and are selling them for $100 a pop.
So $100 gets you both cartridges.
No.
What?
$100 gets you one or the other.
So you can buy new in-box versions of both of these games, like sealed versions of Mega Man X and Mega Man 2 together for about $100.
Yeah, but these are special edition reprintings. So the cartridges are like light blue. They're almost like a robin blue. But as an added element of exclusivity, 1,000 copies of each game are going to be a glow-in-the-dark blue.
Oh, shoot.
And they're going to be uber special versions that are like randomly inserted into unmarked boxes. So collector, you won't know which one you're getting until you open it up.
This is not dissimilar to the Street Fighter 2 cartridge that IM 8-bit also reissued with Capcom it's maybe like a year ago. In fact, it's almost identical. I think they were a little bit cheaper, but still maybe like $60 or $80 or something like that. And 1 in 100 of them was a glow-in-the-dark green, like Blanca version of it. Wasn't there like a warning about like don't necessarily put this thing in your Super Nintendo because it may cause fire?
That sounds right. I can't remember if it was for the Street Fighter 2 release or if it was for that
The SNK one?
Yeah, the one
not
from,
actually SNK, but it's
right.
Like
it was like
SNK
from former
developers.
SNK developers.
I need to look into that game because I would like to play it.
Especially now that you have a Super NT.
Now that I have a Super NT, and now that it seems like Pocket Rumble is never going to come out.
Finally, Miitomo is officially kaput as of tomorrow, May 9th.
Mm-hmm.
However, later this month, Nintendo is going to be adding a feature that allows users to create and edit Mii characters for their Nintendo account via a web browser. So, changes made to the Mii character for Nintendo Network ID will not be applied to your Nintendo account Mii character. And if you're confused, as I was, let me explain the difference to you.
Yeah, lay it down.
So, a Nintendo account is used for Nintendo Switch Online, and that includes like the Switch eShop, smart device applications, so Super Mario Run, off-device software purchases, so if you've ever bought a Switch game on the eShop online, you've had to have a Nintendo account, and the My Nintendo loyalty service. So basically, any online service that Nintendo has launched since the launch of the Wii U or 3DS is a Nintendo account.
Okay, and that has some Mii generated for it.
You can create a Mii, I have a Mii like when I log into my Nintendo account.
Yeah, I'm sure I do too.
Points. Yeah,
I just don't know where that guy came from.
A Nintendo Network ID was created and used on the Wii U and Nintendo 3DS only. So if you ever played anything online, you have a Nintendo Network ID.
Yes.
Here's the thing, though. You can sign up for a Nintendo account and link your Nintendo Network ID, but you cannot link your Nintendo account to a Nintendo Network ID. All of this is word soup and completely meaningless. Why are they still supporting Mii's, especially with this limited functionality now?
Because the Smash, it all comes back to Smash, baby.
Yep, you're probably right.
We're going to have Mii fighters in Smash, and there has to be a way to make them.
Easy enough answer.
There has to be a way to make them. All right, Mark, that about does it for the news. Let's close this out. All right, that's going to do it for this episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society. Remember, please rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts. We appreciate it when you do.
And again, the biggest of ups
to
Coventry, UK.
Just huge ups, enormous ups.
Maybe the biggest ups we've ever given.
Yeah, I actually, as soon as I started using other like synonyms for up, I didn't like it. So big ups. I'm going to go back to just big ups. You can follow us on Twitter. I'm at Patrick_Ellers. Mark is at MKE Mitchell. And collectively, we are at Nin-Cart Society. You can check out our Facebook page if you like that sort of thing. It's just Nintendo Cartridge Society. If you like Mark and Mine's opinions, we write about comic books on retconpunch.com. Also, a previous guest of ours, Ryan Mogi, just released a project that I recorded with her 2 years ago, which is an improvised murder mystery called Made Up Murder. It just came out this weekend. So if you want to hear me improvise a murder mystery with some funny people, Kelly Nugent, who's also been on the show, and Jen Kleinrock, who has not been on the show yet, but will be someday. Check that out. Anyway, I've babbled too much. Olivia Duncan made our logo. Our theme music is provided by 8-Bit Betty. You can find more of 8-Bit Betty's music by going to 8bitbetty.com or by listening right now. For my co-host, Mark Mitchell, this is Patrick Ellers saying thanks for listening.
Campfire.